Trojan family, what's up, what's up, what's up? Check this out. We got some stuff, some news and notes. We got some couple things we got to address and talk about. I want to talk to you about a guy by the name of Perrion Winfrey. He is one of Lincoln Riley's ex-players, came from Oklahoma. He was at Oklahoma. He's a senior this year, and we want to talk about some comments that he made. We want to talk about how he addressed Lincoln Riley and what he felt about Lincoln Riley and what he thinks, the whole move with Lincoln Riley was all about. And finally, we got somebody that's actually going to keep it 100, man. I've been having so many Oklahoma fans in my inbox trolling like crazy because they don't want to keep it 100. They don't want to keep it real. And you always find out a person. You always find out about a person when you hurt them or affect them. I was always told whatever's in you got to come out. And you're seeing that with these Oklahoma fans. What's in them is coming out. And it's a lot of salt. They are salty. I should have brought my salt shaker and start shaking it up. Because Oklahoma fans are salty as salty can be. But check this out. A couple news and note items I want to talk about is, first one is Drake London. Did you see a little highlight reel that they had of him on ESPN? Anybody that doesn't know Drake London, if you visited this channel and you're not familiar with him, he's a USC Trojan. He's our receiver that got hurt in the middle of the season. Still gained quite a few yards. But Drake London is going to be the #1 receiver taken off the board. According to Todd McShay, Drake London is the best receiver that's coming out this year. Explain that to me. The same Pac-12 players, the same Pac-12 that don't have any players. But Drake London just happened to be. Now check this out. So Drake London's get drafted this year, right? Amon-Ra Brown, that was with us, #8 last year, balled out. The year before that, Michael Pittman Jr. balled out. Are we wide receiver you or what? You still got Nelson Aguilar. You still got him. You got Marquise Lee, right? You got Robert Woods. Of course, he didn't play in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you name it. We got the receivers. And so Drake London, I think this might solidify us. We might move up as far as the wide receiver youth thing is concerned, but Drake London is projected to be the #1 receiver to come off the board. And I think I seen maybe the Jets or the Giants or somebody that maybe possibly pick him up. But I hope he goes to somebody that can actually get the ball to him. But I love Drake London. I was doing a spring practice on the sideline, still right next to him. That dude is a specimen, man. I really like what I see from him. His attitude, his energy, his positivity. It just I mean, you can feel it all throughout the field, and it affects the players as well. So thank God for Drake London. Big up to him. Congratulations. Even though you had that injury, you still projected to be the #1 receiver taken off the board. So that was the first thing I wanted to address. But the second thing I wanted to address was this. PFF, most college players drafted per school since the 2000s. This is the most college players per school that have been drafted since the 2000s, the most. Now, the USC Trojans in the early 2000s, we were on top, of course. Early 2000s, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we still continue 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so we still been getting the players, but it's just funny, how our team, they were considered to be down, but still, even though we were down, considered to be down, it's funny when we start looking at this list, how we've been able to maintain all throughout the years with still a lot of draft picks. And you see that this year with Drake London. You see that this last year, Amon-Ra Brown. And you see that the year before with Michael Pittman Jr. And you just continue to see it. Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive lineman. You see it just with all types of different players. Rojo, you see it with him. I mean, we still always had the players. You name it, Leonard Williams. We had these players that still were present at the USC Trojan program, but like I said once before, development and putting the production on the field, it just wasn't there. But look, here is the PFF draft, most draft players per school, and who leads it? #1 is going to be Ohio State. #1 is Ohio State. Ohio State has 151 players since the 2000s that have been drafted. #2 is going to be Bama, 137. #3 is going to be LSU. They're going to have 130. #4 is going to be Florida, 125. #5 is going to be Georgia, 124. #6 is going to be, and they've been kind of down too, but they produce a lot of players. 123, Miami. Miami has 123 players since the 2000 that has been drafted. Number 7 is going to be USC Trojans. Number 117. The USC Trojans have been able to remain in the top 10 as far as the most people that have been drafted from a college program. And they're at 117. Number 8 is going to be the Florida State Seminoles at 113. Number 9, Oklahoma fan, is going to be you, 106. Now, let me do number 10. Number 10 is going to be 101. It's going to be Michigan. Now, all these reasons for the Oklahoma fans to be crying and whining, why is Lincoln Riley? And this is going to get into my main story. It's going to be about a defensive tackle by the name of Perrion Winfrey from Oklahoma. We're going to talk about him because he's keeping it 100. But let me tell you, man, this is even more so one of the reasons that Lincoln Riley came. Even a program that's so-called down is still able to have some of the most. They're number 7 on this list, and they end with the big boys since the 2000, and still able to maintain. This should tell you something, Oklahoma fan. It should tell you that we still able to maintain more draft picks than you, and we were so-called down, right? We were so-called down. Can't you see the writing on the wall? And this guy, this leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, Perrion Winfrey. Can't you see the writing on the wall that Lincoln Riley had just had a better opportunity, a better opportunity to succeed, a better position to succeed, a better city to succeed? Can't you see that? Can't you recognize that? Instead of being salty with your salt shaker, I need to have some salt on here next time, and I'm just going to shake the salt because you guys are so salty. But here it is, Perrion Winfrey. He's a 6'3" D tackle, 303 pounds, and he's projected to go in the 3rd round. The Senior Bowl, he got the MVP of the Senior Bowl this past a month ago. He got the MVP, and he recorded in that game, he had 2 sacks and 3 tackles for loss. This dude is a good player. He's a baller. But of course, you know, he was under Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley recruited him. And so he has this interview with the guys from 24/7 Sports. And I guess, you know, 24/7 Sports is one of the most the USC haters of all time. I think I put them number 1 on the list. They just absolutely, they hate USC for no reason, just because, but there's nothing they can do about it right now. But anyway, he's getting interviewed by this guy from 24/7 Sports. And here's some of the articles. It says, with Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams leaving, let's see. It says, leaving Oklahoma to USC, there are some unhappy people in Norman. And it says, and that includes some players. However, soon as defensive lineman Perrion Winfrey, this is who I'm talking about, Perrion Winfrey, who was preparing for the upcoming 2022 NFL draft, he says is not one of them. And so it says here, in an interview with 24/7 Sports, Carl Reed, Winfrey explains that he doesn't hold anything against Lincoln Riley. He said when it comes to Riley, Winfrey said that the current USC head coach had a big hand in helping him develop into one of the best prospects in the 2022 draft. And we know that he had this successful Senior Bowl, and we know that he had since Lincoln Riley doesn't develop defensive players, he says it in his own words, Perrion Winfrey. He said Lincoln Riley helped him develop as one of the best players, you know, to prepare for this draft since his career. And he goes on to say, he says, Sooner Nation obviously doesn't agree with it. He says, but no, he says, Lincoln Riley has done so much for my career. Winfrey said, I can't even begin to bash him because I know what type of man he is. See, you guys want to call Lincoln Riley stinking Lincoln. But here it is, a player, your top defensive player is here. He's clear about what kind of man Lincoln Riley was. What kind of man Lincoln Riley actually is. He says it here. He says he has done so much for me. Winfrey says, I can't even begin to bash him because I know what type of man and personality and the type of things he is. He basically said, it's just a business decision. Listen, I told you guys in one of my videos before, it's just a business decision. I mean, if you have an opportunity, if you're making, I told you guys this, if you're making about $100,000 on your job, right? If you're making $100,000 on your job, and then another company comes by and says, we're going to offer you $3,000, relocate, we're going to give you a bonus, we're going to buy you a house, and you have this opportunity to move your family. Not only that, the resources around you, you know, you're going to have all the resources that you normally have to call and try to get. You're going to be right there in California, right there, be able to have access to them. If you had that type of opportunity, you telling me, Oklahoma fan, that you're not going to go do that? Man, you guys are lying. This is a good opportunity. And this man, Perion Winfrey, he is, you know, he has the utmost respect for me, because not only did he say that Lincoln Riley has had a great, he attributed him to be the great man that he is today, and not only that, to be the great player that he is today, and not only that, he understands his character, his integrity, and what kind of man he is. I got a lot of respect for somebody that can say that. But when you salty, and then not only that, he says he recognizes it's just a business decision. And you see what's going on now. You see Lincoln Riley all around Los Angeles. The business decision is being on display right now. I mean, the attraction that's coming now is just, it's unbelievable. So listen, man, I need you guys to first also as well like, share, subscribe. And I want to know in the comment section, what do you think about Perion Winfrey being able to articulate the fact that Lincoln Riley is the kind of man that he is. You know what I'm saying? The kind of coach that we know that we got now. And then the Oklahoma fans are hating on it. And then not only that, I want to know what you think about Drake London. I'm not even going to ask you USC fans. We already know that Drake London going to be the #1 receiver. We feel like he's capable of being the #1 receiver. In fact, we always felt like he should have got the best receiver award this year. In fact, we felt like he even should have, you know, he wasn't getting recognized enough because of the schedule, well, not the schedule rather, but the way the team was producing on the field. So we feel like now he's getting his just due. So like, share, subscribe. But I want to know what you think about this college PFF list. USC still being able to maintain a top 7 spot, is the most players being drafted since the 2000. What do you think about that? I need you to like, share, subscribe, and give me your comments about that, and give me your comments about Perion Winfrey, all right? Hey, look, God bless. That's all I got for you. Have a good one.